This question asks us to determine the arc cosine of sine of c if c is equal to 19 pi over 3 radians. So I'm going to go through this problem and basically show how to do everything by hand, even though there's a lot of these problems that can be done by calculator. Okay, so we've got the inverse sine of the inverse cosine of sine of our c, which is 19 pi over, and we want to know what this whole expression is equal to. So let's start with sine of 19 pi over 3, and we need to figure out what that is equal to, because with these types of questions, you always want to work from the inside out with composite functions. So we want to know what this is equal to first. So I don't know what 19 pi over 3 is equal to off the top of my head, but one thing we could do is take 19 pi over 3 and subtract 2 pi from it again using the ideal of coterminal angles to get to an angle that's between 0 and 2 pi, which is an angle that I could know. So let's subtract 6 pi over 3, which is equivalent to 2 pi, and that gives us 13 pi over 3. Then we're going to subtract another 2 pi, and that would give us 7 pi over 3. And then if we subtract another 2 pi, that would give us pi over. Okay, so now we know that sine of 19 pi over 3 is really just sine of pi over 3. And this is an angle that we could know on the unit circle. So let's go ahead and draw us our little unit circle, and let's look at pi over 3. We know the x-coordinate at pi over 3 is 1/2, and the y-coordinate is square root of 3 2. So since we're looking at our sine of pi over 3, we're looking for our y-coordinate, which is the square root of 3 over 2. So we know that sine of 19 pi over 3 is equal to sine of pi over 3, which is also just equal to the square root of 3 over 2. So now that we know what this is equal to, all three of those things are equivalent to each other, we can substitute that in here on this equation, and we get that the arc cosine, or the inverse cosine, of square root of 3 over 2 is equal to something. So now we need to figure out where cosine is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Let's make us another axis. So pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. And we know it's not one of these angles because all of these angles at pi over 2, pi 3, pi over 2, 0, they're all quadrantal angles. So they'll only be 1 or 0. So it has to be one of these three angles. So at pi over 6, we have square root of 3 over 2, half, 2 over 2. Same thing here, half, and then square root of 3 over 2. So we're looking for where the x value is equal to square root of 3 over 2. And it turns out that is right here at pi over 6. So we get this whole expression is equal to pi over 6. So our final answer is pi over 6.